YouTube viewers, listen to the Michael bring you a new podcast for a new segment called the One Piece Review. Like always, this podcast is brought to you by School Year Production, and I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand it. Now let's get into episode 130. Let's get into the episode 730 and 703. Now, this episode starts off with we're still in the backstory for Law. Law was talking to backstory to Law. So we see young Law still talking with talking to Flamengo for D Flamengo to join his crew, but Kojo took a while before Domingo asked for Domingo to respond. Now, anyway, Kojo started to talk to Law in some type of alley, and and he was like, "What the hell you did that for?" Or, "I was trying to join your brother and stuff." And Kojo was like, "You don't want to mix it. You don't want to be my brother." And he said, let's talk to it in private setting. So he used his devil fruit power to make a soundproof barrier. And Law was kind of freaked out, like he didn't know Kojo had devil fruit power. So anyway, he said and Kojo saw everybody moving, but he didn't hear any sound. So and Kojo was like, I got the Concom flute. Basically, I can make a soundproof field for anywhere. So basically, we're inside the soundproof in my soundproof force field. So basically, that's why you can't hear anybody else. Anyway, but unknown to them, Baby Five and Buffalo was watching, but they couldn't hear anything because of Kojo's force field. Anyway, Kojo was spraying his back on them and go into a short flashback, and how the people treated Dean Flamengo and his family back when he was a young boy. It turns out him and his brother and some other, and I figured really that was his father hanging with him on some Star Wars. Dean Flamengo was crying and screaming and said, "I will get my revenge, all you." Then that's when the flashback started. And anyway, Kojo explained how his brother's organization, or how that day that Nate D Flamengo into an evil person you see for today, and he said, "I don't want you to get mixed up with them," and also he kept on explaining about Dean Flamengo's organization, and about Dean Flamengo's man and stuff. He was talking about Vertical, but he was talking about he was talking about Vertical being on the secret mission somewhere, but he kept asking. After he talked about Vertical being on the secret mission. Anyway, after Kojo was trying to spreading why he doesn't want Law to mix up with D Flamengo, his father. brother-in-law was like, screw you, like, screw you, like, screw you, I'm going where I want, I'm going to join Deacon English crew and get a cure for for his white leg disease. For his white leg disease. So anyway, somehow, Law managed to trick Cortu, and he got stuck in the dumpster, and it caught fire by his cigarette. Anyway, he saw Baby Star in Buffalo and you know, they all went off to go get some ice cream. Once they did that, then he was going back. Then he was to go back to join Deep Flamingo's go back to Deep Flamingo. But Carter caught up with him a few minutes later, tied him up. The Law woke up. Well, I walk up in a small little dinghy shaped like Kozu, and Kozu said, like I'm looking at you, so don't worry, I will help you cure your disease. So anyway, when they got to land, they went to their first hospital so he took Kozu took Law to the first hospital, but the doctors and nurses started to freak out on Law because of his disease. So Kozu got so pissed off he set the hospital on fire. And when they went to the next hospital, it was the same thing. So at this point in time, 6 months has passed. We see Kozu sitting on the rocky shoreline while Law is asleep. Kozu was drinking. It's nighttime, and Kozu was like, all the hardships we've been through, then when Law, I say he doesn't have any more time. But unknown to Kozu, Law was listening was awake when he was talking about that he doesn't have long to live. So anyway, when Kozu woke up the next morning, Law started to be more, started to cook breakfast and started to be nice to Kozu. And this is when we go back to the present, where we see Big Law still fighting Deep Flamingo. Deep Flamingo, she's like Law had the upper hand, but Deep Flamingo managed to gain the upper hand. Meanwhile, Luffy is inside the palace fighting Belmo and Deep Flamingo clone self that is controlling Belmo like a puppet. Luffy's hands is still bound by Deep Flamingo's string fruit power. So anyway, Luffy is starting Belmo's attack, and that's when the clone Deep Flamingo decides to watch him from both. The clone Deep Flamingo and Belmo is charged at Luffy at the same time, and that's how the episode ended. Now, I know that episode 704 and 705 are already in on YouTube, but most of the episodes I see seeing that those 2 episodes were mostly they're not dubbed yet. So basically there might be I might do a review on those 2, but if I can find the the real good dub episodes of those 2 on YouTube, I will do a review on those 2 episodes. If I don't, well, I just wait to Monday after episode 740 740 air, then do the same thing. But I know that those episodes are on YouTube right now. But most of those 2 episodes are not dubbed yet. Like doesn't have any subtitles to it. So anyway, if I can find some a good subtitle dub for those 2 episodes on YouTube, I will give a review about them. So I like to I like to say, this is Cynthia Michael signing off. Till next time. 1.